Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for Tower of God chapter 614 or season 3 episode 197. Excited as always to read. I actually don't think we'll have a crazy long Haku intro this time. I don't think. I mean, like, if I'm forgetting anything, I'm so sorry. If there was anybody or anything that I was supposed to shout out or reference, it's tough. I watch at this point like 5-6 Tower of God reactions a week, other than the one that I make myself. So in people's chat and comments, I've probably said a lot of things and had discussions that I just don't remember anymore. I do want to say one thing about last week's chapter that I liked. I like that we're cutting away and getting into some stuff that I find more interesting than the main trio stuff. But with the main trio stuff, there was a scene that I really like, and that's Dumas being like, wow, these 3 regulars stood up to me or made me like feel fear or something, or like they stood a chance, like well, maybe they didn't stand a chance, but he's like, wow, these 3 regulars stood up to me, who would have thought it, or whatever. And we have the shot of him with all 3 of them just taken down, and I really like it. Because I think, I don't think CU is actually going to go this way, but I think it would be really good if this was just the end of the main trio this arc, because really, what personal connection or conviction do they really have here? I mean, like, Bomb right now has all the memories that the family heads want, but aside from that, like, there's not a real personal connection going on that CU has built up with our main trio as compared to what has been building. We have really built Gastong versus Traumerei. That's the central point of this whole thing that we've been building up. We've got the Enkidu stuff that's now going on that, you know, again, ties into Gastong and Traumerei. We have Lobadan trying to stop the war with his people, and Kirin also being one of the people with revolution behind the war. We have this Lobadan Kirin stuff that's been built up. We've got the stuff going on now with BELLERIRE, the rest of Revolution. So I think best case scenario, just sit the main trio out for the rest of the arc. Focus on Gastong versus Traumerei. Focus on the Kirin Lobadan stuff. Focus on Revolution, and Yurik and Walhaixong still need to get here. They are hunting somebody who is almost definitely Revolution. And we have FUG coming in as well. Focus on that. There's so many things that we have built up that we should take time to focus on that I'm fine if the main trio just sits the rest of the arc out, basically. Because I think this is a good place to leave them. We've said it time and time again, like, okay, Bomb getting too strong too quickly, Bomb getting too strong too quickly, but they really don't need to take out somebody as strong as Dumas this early on. And so, have them stand up to somebody as strong as Dumas, lose anyway, but Khun and Rak got power-ups out of it, so moving into the future arcs, moving into new arcs, Khun and Rak are now stronger. So it's a good way to give the main characters some sort of feat standing up to Dumas, give power-ups to Khun and Rak, and then, you know, just have them sit the rest of this out while we handle the stuff that's been previously set up. And then, you know, moving into the next arc and everything, like, I'm sure they won't just do nothing, but I mean sit out as in, like, not be the main focus, because we have so many other things going on that have had more build up that at this point they probably shouldn't be the main focus for the rest of this arc. That's what I think. Even then, I mean, of course it's not perfect or anything, because you have the issue of, like, Khun and Rak not even really being Bomb's most impressive regular allies, just immediately skipping ahead to the point of, oh yeah, we can stand up to high rankers now. It is still messy. It is still a bit of a sloppy way to go about it. But I think, again, they would have their power-ups and we can use that in future arcs. But either way, you know, and I have smaller ideas, of course. Like, one thing I said that might be good for Khun is that Khun now froze his heart, and now that he has the Firefish, he can maybe unthaw it. Maybe, again, he's like, wow, Dumas is about to kill me. My heart was frozen before as auto defense, let me do it now, so that he thinks I'm dead. And now maybe if Khun has a chance to wake himself up, grab Bomb and Rak, and run away somehow, I don't know how that works inside of the armor. Again, maybe Khun could do something like that, and that's a good way for Khun to use his smarts and the abilities that he has already now. But Either way, let's go to 614. I'm excited for this one because I feel like people have been hyping it up. I feel like every week people are always like, oh, I can't wait to see your reaction to this. But this week in particular, seeing comments on my stuff and other people's stuff, it seems like people are excited for this one, which makes me excited for this one. Again, for a long time, I mentioned that people kept saying it got really, really good. And I'm like, hey, whenever we get through this stuff that people said that they weren't liking to the stuff that people say they were liking, I'm excited for that. So now that we're seemingly kind of here, I am very, very excited for it. So starting out, let me make sure that you can actually see the chapter properly when I'm moving. Yeah, looks good. So we have a violence warning, pretty typical these days. I feel like the violence warning, because there were some where there wasn't really much gore or anything, but it was just during the Rack and Bomb versus Wee Wee and Rashut fight, and Rashut was controlling blood and stuff. I think maybe any blood whatsoever now needs a violence warning, because there are some that weren't really violent per se, but there was blood shown, and it's like maybe that's why. Alright, we are starting with this too, with the boss showing up. Boss, captain, leader, Daejang, could mean any of it. And I love this panel too. I forgot to mention this in the intro. This is one of my favorite panels. Who invited Kadede to the team? It's like the meme, Blood thinks he's on the team. And Kadede is just out here with his baseball bat. You are not the same as the rest of these guys standing here. But I love this shot of kind of the three leaders, the three, I don't know what to call them, but important members of Revolution that we've seen so far, each with really cool ships here. We have Kirin with his battleship, the boss with his, and then BELLERIRE with the ship Wanryu. And with the ship Wanryu, it seems like Michelle is siding with BELLERIRE and with Revolution over Proust and the other people that are loyal strictly to Gaston. Or they think they're loyal strictly to Gaston, but Gaston is kind of egging on what BELLERIRE is doing. It also makes me wonder if the boss is meant to be Zahard's replacement, because we know that Revolution wants to, you know, take down the old generation and have the new generation rise up. Kirin specifically told Robodan, when we take out Traumeré, I'll be the new family head. And BELLERIRE called himself Gaston's heir, which would be a weird thing to say otherwise. So if those three are Revolution's planned replacements for Zahard, Traumeré, and we don't even know for sure if the boss is the planned replacement for Zahard, but just assuming that if they are the replacements for Zahard, Traumeré, and Gaston, then it makes you wonder, is this all Revolution's got right now? Or do they actually have 8 other, you know, important members to potentially replace the other 8 family heads? And even then, we know there's more than one Daejang, we know there's more than one boss, captain, whatever, and if there's more than one, how do they factor into this? What the hell is that? Okay, and we're sticking with this scene instead of cutting away like we did at the end of last chapter to Bomb. Okay, we have Kirin with the ship. Kirin! And immediate attack! That looks like bursts of flame and then maybe, what was it, Granabuelo back there? He's immediately rushing him. Lopadan's going straight in immediately. Kirin tries to block. You came all this way to find me. I didn't think you cared what happened within our family. Something must have really lit a fire under you. What do you think you're doing, Kirin? Who are those people? I'm tired of having to repeat myself. Kirin always looks great in he looks really young here. Kirin always looks great in every panel. His design's so good. Like I said, my goal's to be the next family head. And the people riding in that ship are going to be the tower's new 10 great family heads. Okay. So do they have the 8 others now? Are we going to see the replacement family heads before we even see the real family heads? Are going to be the tower's new great family heads. We're going to bring down the current family heads and establish a new order in the tower. Future generations will probably refer to us as revolutionaries. What? That's a really... What a dramatic, good-looking panel of Lobanon. Great. They're all busy fighting. Looks like I don't need to worry about things here. I don't really feel like it, but I guess I should get to work now, says BELLERIRE. The family heads don't usually stop by these parts. This is my chance to pay them a visit. So maybe BELLERIRE isn't the intended replacement for Gaston. Maybe he's referring to the Revolution ones as the family heads. So it's still weird that he calls himself Gaston's heir, though, in that case. Because I don't think he's Tiara's battle. I don't think he's talking about, like, the actual family heads. If so, that's hype too, but... Crazy. That all of Revolution could potentially be here. And if so, what's that going to look like once FUG and Walheiksong get into the mix? Season 3, Tiara's Battle 1. We see the little desk lamp teleporty thing. And is that Yurik's ship? I don't remember. Oh no. Oh right, that's the way the Pobedal ships look, like the generic Pobedal ships, like the one Michel or the one Richemont had. Now that I see it up close, it's even bigger than I thought. Although, I don't like the look of it. That woman Rachel appears to be trapped inside. So where are you? I'm not sure, but I'm inside the vine. But the lighthouse won't show me the exact location. You've got to be kidding, haha. I don't have much of a choice. I'll just have to head inside. He uses the teleporter. Wow, he's just strolling along. Where could she be? Where is the young lady I seek? And he runs into Tiara. We haven't really seen them interact. The closest we came is when he was talking about, like, the game announcement. Huh? BELLERIRE? Vice Commander. And she immediately attacks. She immediately attacks. Holy crap, his hands are gone. No more hands for you. Damn it. What the hell just happened? Just immediate. Does she know he's a traitor? I guess? Because she immediately disarmed him. Yeah, and they are gone. And he's forcing himself. It looked like he was trying to force himself to his knees with his stubs. I figured if I waited long enough, you would eventually join the game yourself, Vice Commander BELLERIRE. But I didn't expect to run into you like this. Your luck ran out right at the end, unfortunately. You're making a big mistake. When the family head finds out about this... She steps on him. Let me make something clear. We're not on the battleship, Vice Commander BELLERIRE. Plus, I rank higher than you in the family's hierarchy anyway, so there's no reason to obey you outside the battleship. I did some digging into your past, but I couldn't find out anything about you. How'd someone from such a lowly background rise to the position of Vice Commander? The family head says you're a legitimate secret child of his, but I don't believe it. He hasn't fathered any children himself since Enzahard, and you're nothing like our noble family leader. Weird. Okay, so this is confirmation that he hasn't had any kids since N. Which begs the question, are all of the Pobedal like fake, adopted, writing people? Or like any of them older than N? This is again, a really interesting development lore-wise. Again, what does it mean for Tiara herself? Where are you from? Who are you working with and what are you after? I don't remember much about the place I came from. Is this red light district? Hold on. I got chills. We're seeing red lights. Just those endless red lamps. And we know from Wang Nan's backstory that he told Karaka that the red light district burned down when he was too young to remember that much about it. So what I was saying, I forget whose chat I said it in, I was saying it during someone's reaction, It might have been Amy's reaction. But when we had that flashback, he told Karaka that the red light district burned down when he was too young to remember much of it. But I was saying, like, that means Karaka and the boss, Daejang, whatever, because we know at least one of the Daejang was around pre, like, Dawan being sealed. So they're pretty old. So they might be old enough to remember the red light district and what happened there. So now he's from the red light district, potentially. And people dying beneath them. Noble? Don't be ridiculous. In this entire tower, I can't think of anyone more detestable than Zahard and the 10 family heads. So interesting then that Bellerire's thing is revolution. And again, if the boss also has similar convictions to Belleriere, that they are revolution rather than FUG. Ah, you're finally showing your true colors. Though I guess it makes sense in that Revolution wants to take out Zahard and the 10 family heads and start up a new government, essentially, whereas FUG doesn't really care about... they don't want to take over. They don't want to set up a new government. FUG literally just wants to kill Zahard and the 10 family heads. They don't care what happens to the tower afterward. They just want to kill Zahard and the heads. I don't care what you think about the family head. You have no right to judge him. I just want to know what your nasty little scheme is, and why the family head's going along with it. Our father wants only one thing, the downfall of the 10 family heads, and Zahard. That includes even himself and the Pobedao family. Nonsense. Why in the world would he want that? So I guess Belleriere isn't a real Pobedao either then. He's just adopted from the Red Light District. And it also shows us that the Red Light District isn't just people like Wangnan or Karaka, not just like Zahard clones or whatever. There are non-Zahard-ish people from the Red Light District. Again, we don't know if he first started out there, but he was at least there at some point. He does want it, perhaps even more than me, but it's not easy for one of the 10 family heads to end his own life. That's why he has no choice but to assign the task to vermin like me. Because we despise the 10 family heads. You think you're doing our father and the family a favor by stopping me? You have no idea how arrogant that sounds. Our own father's the one who wants to bring down the family. At first I couldn't believe he wanted to destroy himself either. We know nothing about the 10 family heads. They defy understanding. They're not like us vermin. Okay, we have Gororo, who is possessed by Enkidu, seemingly showing up. And I think that Gororo's going to be more important than I think we expect. I've been thinking it ever since that speech where I was like, could he potentially become family head? And it's because Gororo truly believed in Revolution's cause. Like, Belleriere seems like he really does just want revenge or just to destroy, maybe out of some sort of morally righteous anger. Really just wants to destroy the 10 family heads in Zahard, whereas Gororo really believed in the idea of the next generation stepping up. Plus he said, everybody else is so strong, but I'm just like a bit player. I'm just a cog in the system, or whatever. And we spent a lot of time with Gororo like that. And it just makes me think, especially if he gets power here from being possessed by Enkidu or whatever, so long as he does retain his will at some point, or retain, we still don't know what state he's in, he could be, Gororo could be really, really important to all of this. They live in a world of their own. You people will never truly understand our father. Never. And it looks like Gororo is still Gororo. It doesn't look like he's Enkidu. Don't you dare lecture me about our father. I was born of his riding. Okay, so she is just a riding person. Again, the more we learn that these people are just riding people, there are things like, okay, maybe they all started out weak and they had to get strong or whatever, but it does make me think less of them as characters. It does, I don't know, I feel like this is still a weaker plot point that I wish CU wouldn't have gone with. Who are you, or who are the people who are the people working with you? I was putting that backwards like twice. Does our father know about them? I'm not sure who they are. Don't play innocent with me. It's true. I only got to know them because that woman Rachel put me in touch with them through Emily. So Rachel already knew about the revolution stuff, which makes sense because she was already in with Akryung, and we saw Akryung in the... And of course, Hedon can possibly be involved because Hedon was the one that sent Akryung with Rachel. But Akryung was in the panel when we got introduced to Revolution. So again, he isn't the planned replacement for Gaston then, seemingly. Because they said whoever's on the ship is the replacement family heads. Whoever's on the ship plus Kirin. And BELLERIRE didn't even know who they are specifically. So BELLERIRE, again, the same position as Gororo in the Lopobia family, where they're both vice commander of the battleship, is also in the same position as Gororo in being like a disposable kind of satellite to Revolution, where Revolution just cut off Gororo. He was never like their plan or anything like that. And just like that, it seems like BELLERIRE is also kind of on the outside. Rachel, is she that outsider who suddenly came on board the battleship? Yeah. The family head found her and her companion one day with some kind of mysterious bracelet. Then we learned about new weapons and rankers we had never heard of before. We only decided to work together because we share a common goal. I have no idea who they really are. Okay, new weapons and rankers that we hadn't heard of. That is very, very interesting because there was some argument over whether the boss is like known or not. And I was saying, like, some people thought, oh, he might have a rank and stuff. I was saying that he's probably unranked. I think most people in the tower probably don't even know that the boss exists. So they could be like really, really strong, but we have no clue because I don't think they're actually even ranked. Like, not even a blue hole situation where it's been so long. I just think they're legitimately just secret. We only decided to work together because we share a common goal. I have no idea who they really are. You're saying you dragged some completely unknown enemies into this war. Hey, if you're not going to kill him, take your foot off him. You're crushing his head. Gororo? Oh wait, you're not Gororo. Correct. Okay, so no, Gororo has been taken over. And again, Enkidu wanting revenge against the family head, specifically Traumare, makes sense that he would want to take advantage of this opportunity. He sends the lizards out, and then Tiara fights back. Okay, and I can't tell if she's taking his arm as well. But even then, it looks like it is. It looks like his arm's coming off, but he has the jello. He has the what is it? General Jelly Jiggler coming off. And she's sinking in, it looks like. So we have Slice again as she kicks his head. So again, this is powered up Enkidu Gororo. And she goes in towards his neck with one of the sunflower discs and completely chops him apart. But it looks like he's just reforming again to hold himself together. Not even that, but he's like got multiple of the same hand. He erupts out. And she's trapped. I'm trapped. Okay, and we have all of the eyes. And the lizard bites down. Oh, okay. We have Chomp. Jeez, she sure is tough. It could take some time to chew through her. And that's we have had some wild cliffhangers. Some really weird, wacky, wild cliffhangers these past few chapters. Or this arc in general. Nuts. Let me throw up the credits for you all. That was a really, really, really good chapter. Again, I've kept saying, in Season 3, the main trio stuff is the weakest part of any arc. And again, this arc has a lot of compelling stuff. The stuff with the family heads is compelling. The stuff with the Revolution, really compelling. Especially this chapter. This chapter with the BELLERIRE stuff, I never, in a million years, I thought maybe from the boss. Or like maybe when Karaka finally gives us some sort of backstory, we might then learn a little bit more or get another hint or another reference to the red light district. But BELLERIRE? I didn't in a million years expect BELLERIRE to be the one giving us another mention, at least, of the red light district. That is absolutely insane. On top of that, like, you know, the tiara stuff, all of this stuff is like really good. Again, the writing people stuff is just kind of disappointing still to me. It's just, whatever. I still would prefer it if that wasn't the case. But again, we're learning more stuff. And again, we got more of the Kirin and Lobadan conflict here, with Lobadan just immediately going in to attack him. And again, that is some of the most compelling stuff that we have had in the, I guess I should call it the Declaration of War saga. Really, it's more the Lopabia versus Povedal War saga, but everything post-Nest. Like the cage, the walls, and the nest served as a complete saga, a complete trilogy story, like part 1, part 2, part 3, act 1, act 2, act 3. Like, that worked perfectly. And then we shifted gears and we kind of had another sort of 3-act thing thrust upon us, where act 1 was the hotel, act 2 was the stuff between the hotel and Sprout, and now the Sprout is where everything's coming together. We're having our climax, we're having act 3. And there are so many ingredients in the pot. There are so many pieces at play that it's insane. It's so crazy, everything that's going on right now. This is so good. I can't wait to see other people's reactions. Yeah, I have no idea where this is going, but again, this was really compelling stuff. Like I said, for a while, people had been, like, I never really get spoiled, thankfully, for the most part. If I do, I would tell you. It's been really rare that I've gotten spoiled. Again, it's been years. Even though we haven't always been like 3 months behind, we've at least been 3 chapters behind for years now, so I've gotten pretty used to avoiding spoilers. I haven't really had that much trouble with it, but despite that, I have heard, like, I can kind of tell by the way that people are talking about Tower of God, if they're talking about it in kind of a negative way, people who read ahead, that is, and I'm like, okay, in 3 months, people are not enjoying this as much. And, you know, for a while, that's the way it was, and we got to that stuff, generally. We got to the main trio stuff that people were complaining about 3 months ago, but after that, people were really, really, really praising things for a good long while, and so that has me extremely excited for what's in store for these, not just how good this chapter was, but for the coming chapters. I'm so excited because, again, we still have FUG to come into play, while Hikesong to come into play, and also just the characters that are already fighting here with Lobadan's group and everything that I really want to see more of. And it's crazy that if what Kirin says is true, we might not just have the boss, we might have all 10 replacement family heads. And if all replacement family heads are members, maybe even high-ranking members of their individual families, then it's like, who is really Revolution's idea for a Gastang replacement? And I mean, maybe they don't have to be one from each family. Maybe it's just 8 other people or whatever, and it doesn't even have to be 8. It can be any number, I guess. But their family head replacements are just, the idea that we might see them is crazy, and especially seeing them before the family heads themselves. And it's like, do we introduce them as like miniature family heads? Like, Kirin is the miniature family head. Do we introduce a bunch of them to have FUG and the good guys go up against them? Because Revolution, in a certain sense, you would think is maybe good, because, I mean, Zahard's empire is so evil and they want to overthrow it, so you'd maybe think they have some good, like, intentions, maybe. But, you know, they seem kind of sketchy at the same time. They have done some things that are morally questionable at best, so it's like, do we have them for the FUG and the main group to take out first as a run-up to the real family heads? How does this go? There's so much cool stuff going on, but I'm going to end this here so I can get the video posted for you all. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, my thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it is free and open for anyone. If you'd like to help support the channel, drop a super thanks down below if you want to. But if you want to not just support the channel, help me to continue to make videos, but also get a shout out at the end of every video and get One Piece videos a bit early, hit join down below to become a channel member. Go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girls, FR Nono, Abyss Knight, and JA. JA, if you're watching, I just put that here because it's your Patreon username, but if you want something different, let me know. Cheriton Student, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pate Ardialo. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.